Oh, I'm on a roll today. Snoring away, so I thought I'd leave him. So, sort of random, sort of going off what I was talking about before and what we'll be talking about tonight, sort of, but I don't know, it's just random. But the people I'm telling you to watch, when I was watching it last night, this will come into play tonight, but so none of this is probably going to make sense again, but I was thinking, I'm sure I had an elf, and I'm not going to tell you about this, but I'm going to tell you about this tonight, piece of jewellery somewhere, and I had to get out of bed at like 12:30 at night thinking, can't sleep, I need to find it. It must be in this box. Because like I say, I forget bits of jewellery I've had, stuff you don't really wear that you might have had for years, bits of silver, whatever, and you just put it in a box, and jewellery box, whatever, and shove it away. So there's this. But this I'll be talking about tonight. So there was that I found. I thought I knew I had one, and my sister's also got one, but not the same. Then I came across, because the chat tonight's about elves, you'll know what I mean if you've been watching J Dreamers, so if you're not, it's not going to make sense. But then I came across this jewellery, and it just made me think, people who watch Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, I thought, because some of it's like Celtic or Celtic looking, that sort of like fantasy, it looks a bit like fantasy jewellery. Is my plug on? Hang on a minute. Type stuff. I thought, yeah, this sort of reminds me of that sort of jewellery. To me, it reminds me of. So I found, these earrings. And I thought, no, I don't think I've worn them, like, ever. And they are nice. Silver, and they've got amethyst in the middle, but they're very pretty. This isn't the jewellery that I'm waiting for to come off eBay that I'm showing you. This is just what I found and thought, I need to start wearing it again. But it does remind me of that sort of jewellery, if you know what I mean. And they're very pretty. So there's those. There is... I can see someone coming on. I just dropped that off. Put my little star back in. Somebody was watching. Where is... need to get some more piercings. I don't know where. There it is. And I found this as well, because I've had this for a while. I used to have a piercing up here, but it actually... it was like a T-bar thing or whatever you call them, and it always used to press on there and it ended up coming out, so I left it. So I do need it re-piercing again, but I did find this, and it is just a clip-on one. But that sort of reminds me of elven sort of thing, because, you can get these where they wear cuff jewellery on there, and people actually make the ones that look like a pointy ear, which are really cute. But I've had this for a while. The only thing is, to put it in a certain position because it does hurt your ear, but I do need to get it pasted up. There we go. And then I came across this that I forgot I had. I don't think it's real silver. I think it's just like costume. I always get mixed up, pentagram or whatever you call it, but it's got an amethyst stone in it, which is my birthstone, and I thought, forgot I had that one. My actual other necklace, I don't know where I've put it, again, just looking on here. I took it off to colour my hair, and I don't know where I've put it, so that's gone for a walk again. This lovely key, pendant. This sort of looks like Celtic sort of elven sort of thing, if you know what I mean. And this is actually an antique because it was my nana's auntie's, not my nana's auntie's, my nana's sister, my auntie, who isn't alive anymore. And it is really pretty. It's got a couple of stones missing, but I don't know if you can see. Ring. And then these earrings I think I got off my sister. I don't know what gemstone that is. Don't know if anyone knows, but there's these ones. that sort of looked like to me like a sort of leaf or something. And the dangly ones, a bit like the ones I've got in, but they're like amethyst, a little bit different. And then my mum gave me this, and I have got a bracelet somewhere, and I was looking for it, but I don't know where it is. And this this with amethyst in, you know, they sort of look a bit like Celtic knots, or them sort of like fairy, elven sort of, you know, sort of thing, if you know what I mean. Thinking alongside of the fantasy stuff and that sort of jewellery, which I also like this as well. And obviously, if you were a fairy or whatever, this is what you'd wear. But this was one of my Nana's sisters as well, which is silver. I have shown this before, and it's just really, really pretty because it's leaves and a flower in the middle. Yeah. And then I found a couple of other things I forgot that I had, and they are really old. This pendant, which I think, if I'm correct, I can't see it properly. It's got a tiny little, I think this is some sort of stone, and it's got like a Buddha or something on it, or some sort of like, don't know if you can see because it's so small. Don't know if it'll focus. Don't know if you can see. And then these that I had, because I said I always cry over E.T. E.T. earrings, they're so old, they're silver. And I had them as a child, but the reason why I've only got one is because the other one of my mum's friends, I can't remember if she said son or somebody died of cancer, or had died, and they really loved E.T., so they wanted, she just went on about E.T., they loved E.T., so I said, well, I've got a little E.T. earring, but she could, I think it was for her, she could have it, because obviously she could put that on a necklace, you know, as a charm to remind her of, I think it was a son or somebody who really loved E.T., like a little bit of a reminder, so I give it away. But I've still got this one, which makes me laugh because in the chats I've been talking about and that elves and stuff like that's to do with aliens and, you know, them sort of conspiracy and theory things. So I've got my elf, which is old, my Nana's, and I've got E.T. And then this was my mum's from years back. And this just reminds me of Snow White just because it's an apple. It's a pendant. It needs cleaning, silver, but it's an apple. And I like it, and I think I should wear it. It'd be nice on a long chain because it's heavier. And I just found, because I've done these videos before where I found bits, and I found these bits, and I'm like, oh yeah. But this one, I forgot I had, and this is the chat that I'm talking about tonight. But also, because I was just watching a bit more of J Dreamers, I actually liked my comments because I have comment on his videos, and I just got a, you know, like a like comment thing back before, and I was like, oh, yay. I was like, yay, because I was telling him that I've sent some people over there and some of you have subbed, and I just think his videos are brilliant. But he was also just doing on a chat, I don't know what it was, but I'm going to look at it in a bit. And it was just saying, I've always said this, and I've said it in another chat somewhere, we have restricted places all over the world that we're not allowed to go, or it's because, you know, the laws of the land, the Queen owns this bit of the land, or such body owns that bit of the land, and that's part of that country, so blah, blah, blah. But if you think about it, and he said it as well, and I've always thought this, nobody owns any of the earth. Nobody owns, really, if you truly think about it, nobody owns anything. You don't own the land just because, sorry, you are the Queen or you are... Nobody owns the land. It's telling people you can't go somewhere, or you can't go on this part of the land because it's owned by blah, blah. I wonder why they say you can't go in such and such a place, because it's owned by whoever it's owned by, or it's a restricted area. I wonder why them rules are there. I wonder. Funny, isn't it? But I've always thought that it doesn't matter that we live in different parts of the countries, because they say years ago, apparently, don't know which way it is, that the world broke up. and it's spread out, and that's why, you know, there's oceans between it. We spread out, but when we're all together, you know, it's like nobody owns anywhere. Just because you're lucky to be born in the country you're in, you know, if you're in a good country that's not fighting, blah, 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 blah. But we don't own the planet. It's for everybody. And the ways you're going to see me talking about is the way I think, that's why I say I'm not a regular person. And that doesn't mean people can sit there and go, oh, she's daft, she doesn't know anything. No, I'm probably actually more intelligent when I think about it than the people who sit watching this video after laughing are the ones who are not into it or think, you know, like I said, don't understand. Because I can think outside the box. I am not somebody who's sort of controlled by the Illuminati. In certain ways I am, and other people's are, because there's certain things we sort of have to abide by because, you know, we get in trouble or whatever. But at the end of the day, I still think different. No one can take your thinking away when they say you're free. Yeah, even if you're in a war-torn country, you're still free in your mind. No matter what anyone tries to tell you, you can be telling them, yeah, I believe that, but inside you might be thinking, do I? Bollocks. I think actually, because your mind, you can think what you think no matter what someone's trying to put on you, unless you're totally brainwashed, you know, or whatever. But I've always, this is a bit of an extension of what I was just talking about before, I've always thought outside the box and always been in that like dreamy state of, you know, thinking, well, what if this did exist? What if that, where have these stories come from? You know, like, where did the, you know, people going about the Bible and stuff, where did these stories come from? Is the bits in all different bits of religion that all sort of come together, if you know what I mean? But that's the thing with the Illuminati. They meddle in your faith and they meddle in the way you live your life. That's what a lot of people don't understand. They meddle with stuff to make you think and tell you how you should be living your life by the rules of how you should be living your life, to keep you distracted from what's really going on and not to second think. That's the thing. That's what Jay-Z. That's what Jay Dreamers says. It's to distract you from what's really going on in the world, to keep you not seeing what's really going on, and it's to stop you thinking, second guessing, of what it is. Because like I said before, if you're told something's happening around the world and you're told, oh, we saw this in the sky, like I said before, then we're told by someone who's meant to be from NASA or wherever it is, because whatever the situation is, that it's something else because, oh, it's because we sent this up, like I said before, and it was a weather balloon, or the sun going through this makes it look like that. That's why I can't say it, Aurora Borealis lights, or the northern lights in the Antarctic, the North Pole or whatever, are green, and that's why you see them like this in it. I mean, it all looks magical, but that's the reason why, because it's this affecting that and that bouncing off that or whatever they say it is. But I think there's a restricted area apparently in space, that you're not allowed to go over that bit. And funny enough, the lights of the North Pole, what I was just talking about, it's just gone out of my head then. The Northern Lights are actually in a ring at the top. They're in a ring. So when you start talking about portals and things, like there's portals at the top and bottom of our realm, if we're a realm, makes you wonder. And they say green is the colour of magic, so I just like it. I like it. But it is odd, you know, and obviously, like I said before, if there's anything's going to come out they don't want us to know about, the government and so on, Illuminati, they're not going to want us to know. So they're going to tell us something else that people won't second thought. They'll go, oh yeah, it's because they said it was blah, blah, blah. So then everyone goes back to the normal life, being regular people and not putting a second thought to even think, yeah, but what if? what if these things from mythology, things that we've been told in stories, storybooks, fairy tales, myths and legends, because they say myths and legends have a truth in them, but what if it's got something in it? But we're always told, shh, no, it's not that, it's this. Yeah, but I want to second guess it. I want to look into more things. I want to go and see what people are finding around the world. Like I said, if anything, if you're coming on here watching, somebody watching now, just go and like do some research and watch these people I'm talking about, because if anything, if you don't want to believe it, it's just fun if you like that sort of stuff anyway. And even if it does make sense, you think, oh, actually, it does make sense. It might even just put you in a different thought process of like, maybe we are being told, being told little things that they're just, to me, they've never added up. They've never added up to me as a child. Like I've said in another post about my path, I've never sat there and thought, what I've been told in school or what I've been told in other places, certain places I've been sat in, I've just sat there and thought, it's just gone right over my head. And I'm thinking, the things that should be going right over my head are the things that I'm talking about now, because they would go right over people's head, because I think, oh, Jesus, what's she talking about? Oh, it's all, fantasy stuff and all that. This stuff doesn't go over my head. The stuff that goes over my head is the normal stuff that we normally get told of how things are meant to be. That goes over my head. That's where I've been sat there in places and thought, this does not resonate with me. I don't get it. It just does something about it. It just doesn't make sense. But the stuff that I'm finding out now, which sort of I've always known inside, sort of, is like, is this the truth though? Because this resonates. This makes more sense to me than the regular normal stuff we're being told. Like I said before, television and all that is, it's good, for some things, but at the end of the day, it's all there to keep your kids, and I'm not saying because Finn watches it, but like I said, chat tonight, there was something on a kids programme in the morning, and I thought, I don't believe it. Well, I do believe it, but I'm like, oh my God. To keep your kids' minds down, when they're on computers and all that, and it's all to keep us subdued, whatever the word is, and keep us off the scent of what's really going on in the world, and keeping us distracted. It's all about keeping us distracted. But more and more people around the world, because I'm looking into this, and people are beginning to talk about, when you hear people saying people are waking up, yeah, they're waking up to a lot of things in the world, not just this that I'm talking about, other stuff. Like they said, when people are going to find out about certain stuff, I think the world's going to be ripped apart, as in everyone's going to be like, what? Is anything we've been told, is any of it true, sort of thing? It's going to scare some people, but other people are just going to be like, that's amazing, in a sense. But yeah, that's who I'm just going to be binge watching till I've watched every single video that he's put up. But there's a couple of other people I'm watching as well. But it is it's amazing. But if you need to go and see The Rock. I know some people know about this. The giants, the Titans, the rock giants. That's what you need to go and look at as well, because that's amazing. And I will be looking at that one if I go to Wales again. I'll be like, I'm gonna sort of look at that. But that's what I mean. Why do we have restricted areas in restricted places all over the world? Like, we don't own the planet. We like to think we own the planet. We get told that, this person owns this land, this is the Queen's land, this is whatever. But nobody owns the planet. Just because someone's got money, they own parts of whatever. You don't own the planet. But why are we being told that parts of it are owned? And why are we being told that there's restricted areas? There's areas you're not allowed to go in. Because why? They're hiding something. They're hiding something. And it's like when people talk, I know this is random, people are going to think I'm mad again, but like when they're talking about aliens, I don't think aliens are what we think aliens are, but I do believe we've had aliens that have come and maybe here, but they're hidden. And things where they think things have crashed and come down and they took their bodies away and they were saying, oh, it's this, like I said, oh, it's this, that's what you thought you saw and all this. Like I said, that Area 51 or whatever it is, the government aren't going to tell us the truth, are they? Because they scare people or like whatever. I mean, this all blows up, it'll be like, you know, people are going to be like, oh my God, you know what I mean? I think there's things in films like Independence Day and all these films they put out there, Pacific Rim. Something in Pacific Rim were coming through the sea. They were coming from the bottom, not through the stars like we think. They were coming through a different portal, through a realm, from the realm beneath. This is in Pirates of the Caribbean as well, where the boat tips upside down. And I was saying before about Stranger Things, because it's all to do with water as well. They normally have to go through water through a realm. Like Stargate, the series, the old one and the new one, when they go to the Stargate, it's like a big watery thing to go through that portal to a different realm, where it is they're going. It's always water. It's water in the Pirates of the Caribbean. It's water in Mulan, that new film, Mulan. Oh, I can't even say it. I haven't even seen it. But she goes through water. One of the Alice in Wonderland films, she has to go through, I think it's some sort of water. I haven't seen that one, but water. A lot of it's to do with water. If you actually start looking into things, it's like, But Pacific Rim, I love that film. That's got the Titans in it because the actual things that come out the bottom of the sea are massive. So the Titans, because there's giants and Titans. Titans are bigger than giants. The gods might have been giants, but Titans are bigger. And we had to get in these robots to fight them. In the film I'm talking about. But they actually said, we're not looking at stars, we're looking at, the porthole was coming through the sea. It's always to do with water, so they reckon there's a thing from beneath our sea. There's a porthole there. And then above us, on our realm, because we're on Middle Earth, is a porthole. And the porthole seems to be the North Pole. So you need to go and Google what's going on there, because that is in a circle and it's green, which you'll know what I'm talking about tonight. It's green. Just referencing back to this, because I will be talking about it. It's emerald green. Wizard of Oz. Probably not going to get what I'm waffling on about, but I am going to tell you tonight if you've not seen that video. And it's in a circle around the top of what we call the top of the earth, if the earth is round. Porthole. So, I don't know. When you start thinking about these, I'm just rabbiting on about it again because I've just been sat thinking and I'm like, but like I said, if you're into all mythology and stuff like that, you really need to go and check this guy's videos out. And I like anybody who can come on YouTube or talk to the friends or the families. And I'll tell my family this. I'll tell my mum, my dad, my sister. I've been talking about my sister today. Told her to go and watch it. Who can actually come on and when I'm not scared of coming on here and talking about stuff, even if people think I'm a lunatic, even if there's people watching from my area and think, oh my God, I'm not bothered. It's a chat I can put out there. I'm not scared to say what I think or what I feel or what I'm watching. I'm just sharing with people. That's all it is, sharing with people. Whether it's true or not, I'm just sharing and asking you to go and look at some videos, because the thing is, if people are watching me on here, they're obviously watching me. Well, some are probably watching me to be nosy, because I know there's some certain people that are watching, keeping tabs and stuff. And then obviously the people who would be watching, really, apart from the people, you know, what I was talking about before, are the people who are probably interested in the same things as me or my path or the things I'm trying to talk about, because they understand what I'm talking about or are getting into that way of thinking where maybe because they are waking up, they're thinking, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Hi. Oh, it's all right. You won't have a clue what I'm talking about on a vintage doll. You probably just think I've been drinking or something. But I'm doing a mad chat tonight. But yeah, like I said, the Illuminati are the people who control us. And like I said, it's controlled through media. What we watch, you know, and what we're told. But if you can start breaking away from that's like I said, I've been trying to break away with, before I knew what it was, I've been trying to break away from it without even knowing, because like I said, for at least 4 years or more, I don't watch the news. I won't be told what to think's going on in the world and stuff. And people who know what I'm talking about, and which, you know, the guy that I'm just saying, Laura, this stuff that I'm just talking about, there's a guy called J Dreamers, all one word, but the Dreamers is not an S at the end, it's a Z, and he's just going on about, you know, different concepts of where we think what we think our history actually is to what we've been told. Titans, the giants, the mythology stuff of like Thor and them sort of gods, and then they had the Titans who were the gods were giants, those that came down, but then there was Titans. They're finding rock formations all over the world that are looking like animals, giant Titan animals that have been eroded, but they're coming out of the ground because our earth is eroding away. They're coming out. They reckon our world is on that. It's all to do with different realms. So if you're into magical, fantasy, mythology and all that sort of stuff, it's just good to go and watch. But I actually do think there's truth in it. So that's why I'm saying you might not get what I'm talking about. I was trying to talk about it before. I did a bit yesterday. I'm doing a chat tonight about elves, and I found this today. It's old. You know, like I said, if you're into all them Lord of the Rings things that I've always been into, it's always resonated with me. Energies, like the path that I'm on, energies from things. There's energies all around us all the time. And the Illuminati tap into that in different ways. But like I said, I can't explain this properly. You need to go and watch J Dreamer's channel. And obviously other channels are going to pop up about this, obviously down the side of YouTube and this, that and the other. I've just actually watched Will Smith doing a little video on something about how he was saying, I didn't watch all of it because the other bit I didn't want to watch, but he was saying something about, he was on holiday in the Cayman Islands or something. He was saying something about, he's realised how addicted people get, you know, like they want to go and put the news on because like everyone's addicted to aggro. Everyone's addicted to arguments. Even on here, people want to come and try and cause shit on people's channels with making people feel crap, or I don't really want to put light on it, but I will a little bit, the trolls, because they are from the Illuminati. We are all from the Illuminati, but it depends if you're going to try and break away from it and not believe everything that you're being told all the time. And the Illuminati are on here because they are trying to stop people from letting the truth come out. So they will try and, in that sense, troll people because they want, you know, people to either shut up, or they're thinking, oh, I don't want to go on YouTube anymore, or whatever it is they're trying to do, but they are trying to suck that energy out of you as well, which I was just telling someone. So he was saying it's funny how we get addicted to it, and everyone's getting addicted to like aggro and arguments, and he said he just wanted to be quiet and still and alone, you know, to think about stuff, because there's that much thrown at us in the news, and it normally is negative, that people just want to sit there and be like, I need to watch the news. Like my mum will always say, oh, just put the news on. I'll go, no, I don't watch the news in my house. I don't want it on. I'm not going to be listening. I know we need to know some things sometimes, but I don't need to be listening to that. That's thrown at us all the time, every day. Loads of channels on your phone, on Facebook, wherever, because they're trying to keep you distracted from really seeing what's going on in the world. And it also can make people depressed. That's what they like as well. And, you know, keeping you low down, keeping you on the low, because that's where it keeps you. The more channels you have, the more crap you'll see. I don't have Sky. I have a TV, but you know, I just tend to watch YouTube and go and pick the people that I want to go and see, like this guy. I'll be binge watching his stuff now. I'm choosing to go and watch who I want to go and watch and see what I think about stuff, not the stuff that is being told on the news or in the newspapers or in the magazines, with media, Illuminati, stuff like that. So, no, I'd rather go and find a few bits out myself and start researching some stuff, not taking for granted what people are saying on the media channels, as in the news and stuff. I'm not into all that. I do feel different in that sense. Like Jay Dreamers was saying, he feels different. He doesn't feel like a regular person because he's breaking away from that. He never has done. He gets these thoughts on stuff and feelings, and he can feel, stuff. I know some of you are going to think, oh my God, this is way over my head, but I know there is a few of you on here that know what I'm talking about, so they're the people I'm talking to. Thanks for commenting that you said, thanks for sending you over to his channel. I know the old crow said you were thinking about something and then you went over, and then someone else has said, 3 or 4 people or more have said, thanks for sending me there. I love all this sort of stuff. Even if you just love this sort of stuff that he's talking about, just go and check his channel out. But yeah, I'm just waffling again. It's because I get excited about things. I can flip-flap to other things, but this is it. This is in my path because it's all to do with things that I think about. Even if people think it's a bit of a dream state or a bit of a like, ooh, that's a bit like, she lives in a fantasy world. Maybe I do, and maybe we did. Maybe it's coming back. People are beginning to wake up. Maybe it's coming out. Maybe I've always thought that because they say this. What is this word? The ash something records that are supposed to be things that we already know about that are in the back of our head. I think records that. So when you are sort of thinking about stuff or thinking it resonates, it's because it's back way in our records of I can't remember what the word is. I don't know if anyone can comment on what them records are called. Coming back to us because we are remembering things from our past, not the things that we've been told happened, but things that actually happened. And they're coming out in creative ways like films, and that we're being dropped little breadcrumbs. That's what Jay Dreamer said. We're being dropped little breadcrumbs of stuff to try and make us remember how it used to be. So I'm going now because might be going over some of your heads. So I'll see you later tonight at 8. Bye.